The kind of energy you see in like Kill Bill, Crazy 88 fight, lots of guys running on walls, crazy action. That's really what Wet is all about. So we got these mechanics where we blend shooting, sword, and acrobatics all into one seamless system. So it becomes to a point where players kind of read the environment and pull off crazy combos and start chaining things together. Doing that really raises the style multiplier. They get more points. And with the score, you actually get to unlock. You can use it as currency to unlock new abilities for Ruby, you know, upgrade some of her weapons and all that. So it's really about pushing that that acrobatic notion to it.
It looks like fans of Max Payne and I Am would definitely be akin to the gameplay we're seeing here. And oh, look at running on walls, shoot.
Absolutely. What we're really trying to do is really the way to promote it is that we made the slow motion automatic once you're doing an acrobatic move. So it's not a gauge that you have to look at. It's not something you have to manage. It's not a resource. Should I use it now? Should I stack it up for later? It's all about use the environment, do some crazy stuff, unlimited ammo on the basic weapons and all that. And just going also for that sort of 70s grindhouse old action movie style. You see with the film grain, the projector effects and all that. It's just a fun universe. You know, it allows us to get this opportunity to get the ironic mix of humor and violence all mixed together, you know. I think a lot of action games out there right now, they really take themselves seriously, and we wanted to have the opportunity to do some more crazy stuff. Like one of our characters, the villains in the game is called Tarantula, and she's this blind albino assassin type character, you know. So you get the idea of the kind of freedom we have there to play with cliches and stuff and just have a good old time.
What about our hero here? What's her story all about?
Well, regarding Ruby is a problem fixer. So her thing is she works for contracts and stuff. The game is actually called Wet because it's a derivative of Wet Works, which means like undercover missions that get messy, bloody, hands wet with blood. That's the line of work that Ruby's in. She's got a kind of a mysterious past. You know, we see her as sort of a contemporary take on the Clint Eastwood character, you know, from the old spaghetti westerns, Men with No Name, you know, like you don't know exactly where she comes from, but she's at the top of her game. She's really good with the guns. She gets into all kinds of troubles, betrayals, reversals, and situations, but in the end, she comes out on top.
She was just sliding upside down on a wall, shooting two different people with two different guns.
Yeah, we never want to interrupt the flow of the action. You know, it's really about killing on the run, this movement, this fluid, uninterrupted system. So she can shoot down ladders, she can shoot down zip lines on ledges, around poles. She just hangs with one hand and shoots around the pole. Basically, like once you start unlocking all her potential, it's just like one fluid ballet of destruction.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What's really interesting about the split targeting mechanic is as soon as you start taking to the air, one arm is automatically dedicated to targeting an enemy. So you're pulling off, you're killing enemies right away. You know, as soon as you pick up the controller, in the first 2 minutes, you're pulling off these crazy moves and you're killing the enemies. But as you start developing your skill with the manual aim as well, then you can start pulling headshots, killing two guys at once, or aiming at a chandelier or a barrel or something like that in between to kill a whole bunch of guys. So there's really that whole pick up and play, easy to learn but hard to master aspect to it. You can really develop your skill as you go along.
Did you guys been working? How long have you guys been working on this?
The game's been in development for about 2.5 years. Over at the Artificial Mind Movement in Montreal. We're a team of about 90 people right now working on the game, and really started with the idea of trying to blend acrobatics and shoot, and then the sword just came in there as well, because like for close quarter combat, so you're shooting away on the wall and then you get close, the enemy's still standing, finish him up with the sword, exactly as we're doing that in there. And that's really the kind of flow that we're going for.
What's going on with the red highlighting?
It's called a rage mode, so it's kind of like a bonus. You know, like in the old school action games, you know, the bonus rounds where you can sort of just let loose, and this is kind of like an adrenaline rush for players. This is Ruby seeing red. She's got her face full of blood, so she's just like lashing out at the bad guys. Players have inflict more damage. The health regens automatically. She's dual targeting from the ground. She's got some of the other moves there with the sword and all that. So it's really about players just concentrating on killing the maximum number of guys as quickly as they can. Those moments are spaced out throughout the throughout the game to kind of change the pace a little bit on players and let him get a revenge, you know, mixed with the storyline. You know, there's a torture scene at one point, and Ruby doesn't like that too much, so she really sees red afterwards.
We'll throw a couple questions at you from the audience, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I guess first off, I see a few people already asking. When are you guys planning to come out with this, and for what platforms?
The game's going to come out this fall on both PS3 and 360. Now, the demo that you guys have here at E3, we've seen those 2 chunks of it. You got a little more to show us before you go? Yeah, we have another section there called the car hopping. It's really Ruby showing like how far she's willing to go to finish the job. So she's been chasing this guy because she's been hired to bring back this case, and this guy ran off with it. She chased him on rooftops and stuff. He took off in his car and headed down the highway. Ruby doesn't drive or anything, but she managed to hitch a ride on the truck, and she's actually going to try to make her way across the cars to catch up to him and get the case. Our girl doesn't let up. It's really this really innovative blend of quick-time event and real-time action. So the shooting is all done in real time. Players can aim anywhere, anytime. And navigation is handled through some button prompts. So we got that nice mix so that players can still concentrate on one thing at a time, still get to appreciate the sequence. We also wanted to have a sequence that still shows off what Ruby's all about. You know, she's about acrobatics and shooting. We didn't want to do something where we put her on a spaceship or something like that. We really wanted to something that related to her and played on her strengths and show like how far she's willing to go to get the job done. All right. Well, Patrick, the game is wet, coming out for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and when is that again? This fall. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming by.